Welcome to the third episode of NeuroWomen Natter. And I don't know, probably the theme is probably a little bit speaks for itself as we are wearing Christmas hats and earrings and all sorts today. We are going to be talking all things Christmas and neurodivergent related. Now, it's quite poignant that Charlie has got a bar humbug hat on, and I have my nice little red Santa hat. And I think it's a little bit of devil's advocate today because I really like Christmas. And Charlie has alluded to that she don't particularly like Christmas. So if you think this is going to be
Yes.
like a two-way story today,
It's a bit
so
good cop, bad cop, isn't it? Although I think with your blonde and colourful and my dark and morose, it's a bit like Wednesday and Enid, actually.
it really is. It really is. So Charlie, you wanted to cover this subject. So it's obviously something that you felt that was really important to talk about.
Yeah.
So what particularly is it that you think that what particularly is it that you don't like about Christmas? Let's start with that.
Yeah. So it's just hard, isn't it? It's just so much pressure. So, um, as you know, I had quite a difficult childhood and we didn't have very much money. And my dad was a drinker and yeah, so it was hard growing up with a disabled brother as well and a constantly stressed mum and with very little money. So they made it special. My mum particularly, she's an absolute superhero because she she will admit that she struggles with the pressure of Christmas and any kind of occasion where there's a build up to it and you feel the pressure to make it special. But even on a really tight budget, she was able to deliver. She always made it special. So me and my brother, we always had a reasonable sized pile of presents with the same number each, because that kind of stuff really matters when you're autistic. We wouldn't have known how much it all cost or anything like that, and it wouldn't have been much, but we had to feel like there was some kind of equity, and she managed to do that, managed to cook meals that we enjoyed, all of this stuff. And like even after my parents got divorced, she made the decorating the house and wrapping the presents and all that. She made it special, even though she hates it. So she's like just someone that I'm trying to live up to, and then feeling like I'm kind of falling short because I'm trying to be a career woman and I'm trying to be a mum, trying to be a wife. I'm trying to do things for the community, and sometimes it's just like there's too many plates spinning and it all keeps adding up and I feel like I'm cracking up, and Christmas more than any other time. And it's dark and cold, and I like to go out running and walking and cycling in the countryside. I like to see flowers and leaves and hear birds, and it's all just a barren wasteland out there. So so many things I'd love to like about Christmas, like the fairy lights and the Christmas tree and the food and everything, but it's like I like the twinkly lights unless they're flashing. I don't mind them fading in and out, but if they flash in sequence, I get overwhelmed. And I like the food, but not if it's overcooked or dry. And yeah, I'm a very much, I like it if I like it in this situation, I like it with these considerations, and it's a lot, it's a lot.
No, I do. I think I think it resonates with a lot of people. Whether, and I think mums in general, whether you're neurodivergent or not, especially and fathers as well. If you're working and trying to support a family and trying to juggle work, juggle the house, juggle the Christmas shopping, juggle everything else,
I don't
it
juggle
proves
that
this.
with any men ever. Yeah. Hmm.
But it becomes really stressful. And I absolutely love Christmas, and I said this to you before. Christmas is like my favorite time of the year, and but it does come, even with me, it does come with extra pressure because I think, as a kid, it was the time that we were all together as a family, and I had so much admiration for my mum and dad and my nan. My nan was like my favorite person in the world, right? And she absolutely adored Christmas, and we spent Christmas with her every year. And she made the perfect roast potatoes, the perfect like my aspiration to
Mm.
cook was always to cook like my nan, right? And she taught me to cook. And I I don't like the build up to Christmas. I say that I enjoy decorating the house, but I get halfway through making that tree and I'm like, I've had enough now.
Yeah.
The kids are putting the ornaments in the wrong places. The lights are all tangled. Um, and
It's
I
always fraught here.
it
It
really
always
is,
ends in somebody will get shouted at for not doing enough to help, and then shout at
yeah,
someone else for
yeah.
shouting, and
And it
yeah,
does, the house becomes chaotic. But then once it's all done, I like to kind of, right, it's done. I'm going to enjoy a glass of wine and actually take in the
yeah,
environment, take in my Christmas spirit. And I'm the same as you. I can't have them flashing that complete, the slow fade in and out, I can cope with. I cannot, I'm like, no, I can't do it. And my husband turns it on. I'm like,
yeah,
don't do
yeah.
it.
Same here. Oh
And
God, I went to I spoke at Vodafone last early December, and we went to a pub on the way back for something to eat, and every single room was full of flashing lights. And when I spoke to the man behind the bar and said, "This is really giving me a sensory overload. Could you please put us in a room without flashing lights?" He just looked at me like I was an alien. Please believe us. If we say we can't cope with the flashing lights, we're not being Scrooges. It's just really difficult.
yeah,
Uh,
some people just don't get it, do they? They just don't understand it. Um, and I think it then, do you then, what do you do in that situation? Do you feel that you can explain to them the reason why, or do you think actually that's your issue and you need to get over it?
no, no. So what happened is we were going to have a full meal, but we decided to just have half a beer and a portion of chips between us and then get out of there. And but it was quite funny because quite often I get an adrenaline slump after a speaking event, and I quite often end up rowing with my husband because we both have that adrenaline come down. So the fact that we were together in a pub where neither of us were getting our needs met, it kind of resolved that and brought us back together. So it was me and him against the neurotypical world.
I like that. I like that. It's so hard sometimes, isn't it? And it's the social events as well. So I used to I used to enjoy some of the social events, but I learned very quickly that I couldn't say yes to everything.
Yeah,
And that there were particular events that I would go to. Or when I was, and I think the hardest thing for me is when I was a line manager, your expectation is the line manager should be there with their team.
yeah, and not too drunk either.
Yeah, well, yeah, that as well. Um, and that's the problem. I was either one or the other. I would stay completely sober and leave early, or I would drink to kind
Mm.
of get over the overstimulation of all these people and all this noise and everything else. And I think now that I'm self-employed, I don't have that commitment anymore. And
Yeah.
I can choose to go out with my friends. We will go a gathering, but we'll go somewhere that's not like that, if that makes sense. We'll go something that
Yeah.
suits everybody.
Same
I'm
for
in
me.
more
I
control of
went
it.
to a CIPD networking event last Christmas, and I got really stuck into the mulled wine, and I just went home feeling like a complete social failure. And I thought, I don't know what I've said to who about what, and just wished I hadn't gone, except I've met some people that I still work with. But just like, yeah, those things are great, but can people not quiz me too much about things like, oh, how exactly does autism manifest for you and things? Because I feel like I'm in a job interview and I'm just trying to chill and
Yeah.
meet a few people.
Yeah. Yeah. It does start to feel like work, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It does. So like we're at Christmas itself. So like I said, I really like Christmas, but also I do have the impact of my eldest. So Harry becomes hyper fixated about Christmas, really hyper fixated, so that I have to now plan absolutely everything. He needs to know how many days there are left to Christmas, what the countdown is.
Is
Um,
that excitement or nerves or
it's
what?
excitement,
Yeah,
like over excitement. Now, for the last 3 years, Harry has not slept at all Christmas Eve. I mean, not it just doesn't fall asleep at all. So it does have an impact because I'm absolutely exhausted
yeah,
Christmas Day because I've been up with Harry for most of the night because he just cannot get to sleep through the excitement of it. Um, and I'm hoping this year's going to be slightly different because he's a bit older. Do I anticipate that it's going to be different? No. And I think sometimes understanding when you've got neurodivergent children as well that become hyperfixated on things, it's really hard as a parent, especially as a neurodivergent parent as well, that can also cause burnout
mm,
for us because it's you're having to plan for their expectations, but also for your own.
absolutely. Yeah. I just want to be able to relax a bit from work and uh, which isn't such a problem now. I'm self-employed, but I was working in HR systems for a really long time, and every December I was doing the holiday reset and I was processing the pay review and the bonuses every single December. So I'd got grandparents nagging me about what do the kids want for Christmas when I didn't even know what I was going to get them. And all I wanted to do is get these projects done and dusted so that I didn't have to worry about them. And they'd be dragging over the Christmas holidays sometimes as well if anything set them back. So it's just the last thing I wanted was Christmas. I could have done with postponing it all. What a great idea.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
jealous of like couples that were dinky, double income and no kids yet that could just avoid the whole thing by going on holiday to Thailand all over Christmas and New Year or something. Fuck it, I'm going to Phuket.
See, but that's my worst nightmare. See, I'm very much so I'm very much tradition. So if Dave said to us, "Do you want to go away for Christmas?" I'm like a point blank, no. I think I've cracked it, but I haven't cracked it, if you know what I mean. I have to have routine. I have to have
Mm,
traditions in, and everything is so regimented to a point. Like everybody knows what to expect, and I have to have Christmas at my house. And I think we have to alternate like grandparents coming over every year because if I'm not in control of it, that's when I lose my head.
yeah,
I can't go out for dinner for Christmas. I've
that
done
kind
it.
of sounds
Can't do
like
it.
me about almost every meal.
Yeah, I
I,
mean, I have to.
I need the time and the resources and to be able to get on with it without anyone throwing any spanners in the work.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I've built, I think, through my coaching and my experience of coaching others, I've built such a strategy now that I don't get stressed at Christmas anymore. I mean, I used to get so stressed about it, I didn't plan anything and I left it all to the last minute. And I am quite aggressive cooker.
Yeah,
Do not come in my kitchen if I'm cooking. Don't touch anything. Everything's planned. Everything's got its time it needs to be doing. Get out, right?
yeah,
Dave
I'm
now
like
knows.
that.
Don't come in the
I don't
kitchen.
like people watching me either, standing over
No,
my shoulders.
I
Yeah.
can't stand it. So I used to live in an open plan flat, right? And they used to, and the people used to come around to me, and I'm like, oh, I don't like it. But now I don't. But like, if I suppose some strategies I would say, if I could share any, that's made my Christmas a little bit
Go
easier,
for it. Yeah.
is
I've
that
got a list I want to share as well, but yeah, you go first. Yeah.
cool. So I love it. Sharing's better, right? If it can help anybody, then brilliant. I absolutely plan the dinner. I actually book out a whole day in December, around about December the 14th. I pre-cook my potatoes in duck fat and then I freeze them, right?
Wow.
I
That's
pre-make
hyper organized.
I pre-make my stuffing. I've already ordered. We have this tradition that we've got this farm local to us. I pick up the turkey, and we, as a family, on Christmas Eve every day. So I cook It's the only thing I really cook in the morning is the turkey. So I pre-freeze it. I've got absolutely everything organized. My table's all laid on Christmas Day. The kids all have exactly like your mum did. They all have the exact same amount, right? And I set a budget every year for everybody. I've got a budget so I don't overspend because I used to go way overboard. I used to spend so much money. I now set a budget for absolutely everybody, including my husband, of what I'm going to spend. So they all get exactly spent the same amount. So I know what they have. And we have this system on Christmas Eve. The kids go upstairs. We then get the presents out. Dave will go and sit with Harry, or I will, so he doesn't come downstairs. And even to the point now, because we don't want things being spoilt for him, I will tape over the door with Christmas paper. So if he comes downstairs, we'll know if he's been in there because the Christmas paper will be ripped. So he knows he can't go in there. So I do that so he doesn't spoil it for
Yeah.
himself because of how excited he is about coming down and seeing Santa and the presents. So I absolutely plan everything to the point where I know I don't have to spend too much time in the kitchen.
I think
I've
my
got it
mum
all
must have
sorted.
done that as well. But the way you describe it, it sounds like corporate project management, right to there's even like a launch. Yeah.
There is, there really
An
is. But the thing
implementation plan. Yeah.
there is, and it makes me feel so much calmer, and I get to enjoy the day because I've planned everything, pre-planned it. But I've also learnt my boundaries, Charlie, that if I do need to take, I do have family around, and I will give my husband the nod of I'm taking myself away for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I need to downtime. I need to
Yeah.
go to my bedroom, and my bedroom's completely out of bounds. Family around and things like that. And my mum understands it. And I'll just go for 20
So you
minutes.
have a quiet room. That's a brilliant plan. Like our kids are a bit older, so Si and I quite often feel like we need a timeout, and we will say to the kids, "Okay, I know it's Christmas, but you can go and play Roblox on your laptop for a bit. And me and your dad are going for a little walk, and we just like disappear out for a really short walk just to get out of the house and away from all the computer games and all that. But it's one of the hardest things about my kids, I think, with Christmas is food, because particularly the older one, Z, who's 16 now, ADHD, I've been calling her, but she has a lot of sensory sensitivities around food and meals, and particularly sound sensitivities. So she's got misophonia.
Yeah,
She can't stand the noise of knives and forks scraping on plates, but also isn't keen on certain textures like mushy or slimy food. She doesn't like a roast dinner because meat needs to be soft and not too chewy for her. So there's very little that she would actually enjoy on a roast dinner, but she also hates being under scrutiny. So if we'd taken her, say, to my parents' house for a big sit-down Christmas dinner, and we're there, our kids are there, my brother, she would just find that she couldn't eat anything and just pushing food around a plate, looking miserable, and then under scrutiny from people that are worrying that
bless
she
her.
might be anorexic or something like
Yeah,
that, and she just wants to curl up and die when she's on the spotlight like that. So I mean, she's with my ex-husband, her dad, every other year. But what I try to do is just give her the stuff I know she likes. And if she wants to wear noise-cancelling headphones, that's not a problem. If she wants to sit in the living room and watch telly rather than sitting up at the table, that's not a problem. So we take away the things that are particularly anxiety inducing and triggering to her and just leave the things that are worth doing. But it does strip it back quite a lot.
yeah, but absolutely, you're making it enjoyable for her. You're not putting her in a situation that's going to cause that anxiety, and that's absolutely the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Harry's the same. Harry, if he has too much interaction, he just wants to go away and play on his iPad. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, you go and do what you need to do. And
I relate to that.
yeah, and I do. And like, there's discrimination of, oh, he should be down here with family. It's Christmas. No, let him have an hour on his
Yeah.
own. Let him
Just I
go off
try
and do
not
what he
to
wants.
shame my kids for being wired differently.
No,
And I'm glad that they feel the psychological safety at home that they can voice their needs and have those needs taken serious. But yeah, I mean, it affects me as well. But I love food. Me and my husband are both the most unfussy eaters you could meet.
I'm
We
not
pretty
fussy.
much eat anything. Like I won't eat stale bread, for instance, but if the food is fresh and it's not going moldy, I will eat any kind of food. Just the whole advent when I'm busy at work and needing to get presents and plan and deal with queries from family and stuff, and then you've got all the music, some of which I enjoy and some don't. So I've prepared for you my top 10
Go on then.
Christmas hits. Yeah. So at number 10, it's beginning to look a lot like fuck this. Yeah. Number 9, sigh at night when you can't get your kids to go to sleep.
Uh,
Um, No, I've already lost count, so I'll stop with the numbers. I'm so ADHD today, it's just crazy. It's the most triggering time of the year. Stop the carvery. So, for anyone watching that isn't in the UK and doesn't know what a carvery is, it's like when you go to a pub and have a pilot high salad cheap roast dinner. And some people do that at Christmas rather than cooking it at home. I'd much rather cook it at home. Mistletoe and wine, but wine as in whinge rather than wine as in that nice grape juice that we're so fond of.
Mhm.
I'm dreaming of a shite Christmas, or one that isn't shite would be great, actually. Jingle hell, jingle hell. I'm getting carried away now. Rocking and sobbing around the Christmas tree. Happy Christmas, it's nearly over. And my favourite, oh, thank fuck it isn't Christmas every day.
No, I don't think I could cope with Christmas every day. I
And
don't.
then you've got the crap bits of it. Like, what the hell are these things? Oh, you have one too. Yeah. I'll just reach across to Essex and pull your one, okay. You pull my one, okay.
Ready? Oh, I did bang.
Ah,
There we go.
so some stickers. Yeah, my kids quite like stickers. Got a navy blue paper hat which will break as soon as I put it on.
I
No
can't wear
pres
them. My head's
no
too
presents.
small. Look.
So it's like a scarf rather than a
Yeah.
hat
So
on you.
anybody who's listening, I am putting a Christmas hat on my head and proving that my head is too small for a Christmas hat because look, oh,
It's a lovely color, yeah. But
it's a
you'd
nice
need a
colour,
really
but
big
look,
pair of
it
glasses
stinks.
to keep it on.
It stinks right over my head. I can't
If
wear them.
if you got some of those glasses that have got like reindeer antlers on them or something. I like the reindeer antler headbands actually, but yeah.
Should you do the joke?
Yes.
Oh, yours is the same
So
colour as
mine
mine.
my hat is too small. So here, take this one. I'll take that one. Yeah, okay.
Right, so
Um
my joke is how does an Eskimo fix his broken arm?
I don't know, how did the Eskimo fix his broken arm?
He glues it.
Why did I laugh? I'm trying to prove that these are crap and not funny. How do sheep greet each other at Christmas?
Bar humbug.
Yeah, that should be the right answer, but this says a Merry Christmas to you, as in EWE, like a female sheep. Yeah, I think they've got that wrong, actually. I
I
prefer
thought it
your
went
answer.
humbug.
And then it says give a sticker to the person with the biggest ears, the person who's the best singer, person who's the loudest, etc. Yeah, which is quite shaming, I think. A bit body
Yeah.
shaming and yeah, a bit
Oh,
neuronormative.
ours has got trivia questions in it,
Uh,
which is not too bad.
See if I know this one then.
Okay, so which popular Christmas beverage is also called milk punch?
Guess that must be eggnog.
Yep,
I don't think I've
eggnog.
ever had that. We like snowballs and mulled wine and mulled cider and pretty much any festive drink, but I don't think I've had eggnog. Just sounds a bit gross. It sounds like something you make out of raw eggs.
Yeah, no, I don't like eggnog. What's your all-time favorite Christmas film?
Oh, Gremlins. La 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 la. Yeah, absolutely love it. I've seen it again and again, and yeah, one more anecdote from my childhood. So my parents used to video my favourite films when they came on the telly. But there's a bit in that film where Phoebe Cates' character explains why she doesn't like Christmas, and it's to do with her dad dressing as Father Christmas and hiding in the chimney, but something going horribly wrong and him burning to death, and that's why she doesn't believe in Father Christmas. So when my mum videoed that and it came on just before the adverts, that bit, she then rewound it a bit and taped over it so as to spare young me from having to hear that story and to save my brother from finding out that there's no Father Christmas. So
Oh, bless her. That's
yeah,
really thoughtful.
yeah.
Can't do
So I was
that
a
these
grown up
days.
when I first saw that scene, and I thought, well, I don't remember that. I had to ask my mum why. So
See,
she was
my
constantly making things special for us and
yeah,
constantly making the best out of a difficult situation.
I mean
She
that
is
is
my
nice.
absolute hero.
She does. She sounds like a wonderful woman. My favorite Christmas film is Santa Claus the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, we love that as well. That's my mum's favorite actually. Yeah, it's
It
a
was
lovely
me and my
film.
nan used to sit and watch it together. She used to love Dudley Moore.
The
Absolutely
Dudley
love Dudley
Moore
Moore.
character's so lovely.
Yeah, well, Alfie's one of my favorite movies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Santa Claus the movie, and I got my kids to watch it. I was like, well, you need to watch my favorite movie. And the best bit they liked about it is obviously licking the lollipop and floating. They were like, Mum, can
Hmm.
we have those? I was like, I don't think they actually exist. I don't
Yeah.
think there is flying
What a
lollipop.
shame. I'd love to be able to fly.
If you could give our listeners one message for Christmas, what would it be?
Cut out the crap and just do the bits that actually matter to people. And Merry Christmas.
Mm.
I don't
My
hate it really, I just find it a bit hard. So let's try and make it easier and then we can all enjoy it.
Mine would be do what's right for you, set your boundaries, take care of yourself and each other, and make sure that you take a break, but just enjoy it as much as you can. So, Merry Christmas
Yeah.
from me, and Merry Christmas from
Merry
Neuro Women
Christmas.
Natter.
See you soon.
Bye.